And now, CBS 4 Sports with Clay Williams.
Hello, Rio Grande Valley High School football fans. CBS 4 Sports Director Clay Williams here with my picks for Week 1 of the playoffs. That's right. Let's go ahead and pick our games in the playoffs. There are 20 of them this week, but hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the last week of the regular season, Week 11. My picks, best week ever, 26 games, and I got 25 of them right. The only pick I got wrong, Donna North over PSJA. It ended up being the Bears getting that win, or else I would have had a perfect 26-0 week. For the entire regular season, 222 wins against 61 losses. That is a 784 win percentage. Not bad. I'm happy with it. It always gets a little risky when you go into the playoffs there, though, and talk about these teams that you haven't seen. How good is Laredo United, United South, teams like Alexander or Yoakum? How good are these teams that we haven't seen against our Valley teams? Well, we're going to find out, and I'll make my best educated guess. Let's start with the 4 games we've got coming up on Thursday. 4 games, and the only Valley-on-Valley matchup is Brownsville Veterans at Weslaco East. This game at Bobby Lackey Stadium. I've got Weslaco East coming up with the big win after coming off their loss against Weslaco this past week. Rio Hondo takes on that Yoakum team we talked about. How good is Yoakum? This game will be at Buck Stadium in Corpus Christi, and I believe Rio Hondo has the horses and the defense to stop Yoakum, and the Bobcats will go on to the second round. Lyford takes on Goliad, another team from that area between San Antonio and Houston that we don't know so much about. How are they in their district? Goliad ended up being third, Lyford second in their district, but I like Lyford's offense. I've got the Bulldogs coming up with what many would believe would be an upset win, that game at Memorial Stadium in Alice. One team we know how good they are, Refugio. They go to the state playoffs. They go to the state Final Four almost every single year. And Refugio taking on our La Villa Cardinals tomorrow night in Kingsville. I believe that will be a win for Refugio, and La Villa can come off a great playoff season and end it there. 14 games to tell you about on Friday. Let's get to it, and let's start with the Valley teams that are playing west to east. Roma takes on Ed Couch Elsa. That game at Mission's Tom Landry Stadium. Ed Couch Elsa is healthier, but it won't be enough. I believe Roma's defense and their run game will give the Gladiators the win there. Mercedes at Sharyland, the Adame Bowl, as Roger Adame takes on Ron Adame. And I believe it will be Roger who comes out on top with the Mercedes Tigers getting the win at Sharyland. Laredo United South at McAllen Memorial, another one of these teams. How good are these teams from 29-6A? We know Del Rio is pretty good, but what about the rest? I believe McAllen Memorial is better than the United South Panthers, and I've got the Mustangs coming up with a win there. Mission Veterans will be at Donna at La Prade Stadium, and I've got the Redskins coming up and getting some revenge. Last year it was Mission Veterans with a win. This year, Donna gets their revenge in that game, and the Redskins get a win there. Los Fresnos at Weslaco, probably the biggest, baddest game of the bunch. Both of these teams, district champions or co-district champions. This one will be one to watch. I've got Weslaco winning at home. That rushing attack they have just too strong and can eat up too much clock. This one will be the closest one of the bunch. Edinburgh Economides, the self-described Cinderella of 31-6A, getting in, and they will take on the Harlingen Cardinals at Bogus Stadium. The Cardinals will not lose this one. I've got Harlingen winning at home. PSJA North at San Benito. The Greyhounds have been looking forward to this one for a long time, getting into the playoffs, and I've got the Greyhounds winning at home over the Raiders. Edinburgh Vella at Brownsville Porter. Porter only in the playoffs for the 3rd time ever as a high school football team. I've got Edinburgh Vella coming away with the win over the Cowboys. Midland Christian comes down to take on the St. Joseph's Bloodhounds. That one at Canales Field in Brownsville with a 7 p.m. start. Once again, Midland playing out there in Midland and Odessa against the big teams in private school like Dallas Bishop Lynch. How good is Midland Christian? I believe St. Joseph is a lot better than many teams think in the big private school areas upstate. I have got the Bloodhounds winning at home in a big game. We have several games that will be out of the Valley. Juarez-Lincoln travels to Laredo United. Juarez-Lincoln, one of the great stories of the year, winning their last couple of games to get into the playoffs for the first time ever, but I believe the Longhorns will be too tough at home. I've got Laredo United winning that one. La Feria also playing in Laredo, but that is a neutral site game against Beeville Jones and the Trojans. The Lions look super tough, especially on offense, where they can run it and they can pass it. I've got the Lions winning that one there. La Grulla takes on Gonzales. This game will be at Hornet Stadium in Corpus Christi at Flower Bluff. Gonzales just a little too tough for the Grulla Gators, who squeaked into the playoffs there. That also a 7 p.m. start. Port Isabel and Cuero. What a couple of powerhouses in South Texas football there. Once again, how good is Cuero? Only 5-5 this year. Port Isabel had a better record, but I do believe Cuero has the better team. I've got the Tarpons losing in the first round. And Raymondville taking on Sinton. That game will be at Javelina Stadium in Kingsville. Raymondville has already played Sinton once this year. The Pirates got the best of them. I believe the Pirates will beat them once more. 2 games to tell you about on Saturday. It will be Laredo Alexander at McAllen. Mac High playing at home right next to their high school. How good is Alexander? They have a Skaggs, they have a Swain. I don't believe they're as good as they've been in the past. I've got Mac High's Bulldogs coming away with the afternoon win there. La Jolla Palmview has to go on the road, and they have to go a long, long way to take on Del Rio in Del Rio. Tough trip for the Palmview Lobos. I've got Del Rio's Rams winning that game with a 2 o'clock kick. Those are my picks for week 1 of the Valley High School football playoffs. We'll see you right back here again next week.